First up on the show, the death of the Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash in Iran has added another complicated variable to the West Asia chessboard. Raisi and his foreign minister were returning from a visit to Iran from East Azerbaijan province when bad weather hit. The chopper made a hard landing, and after nearly 15 hours of search operations, the ill-fated helicopter was found with all on board dead. Iran has declared 5 days of mourning as condolences poured in from around the world. So what caused the crash? There are unconfirmed speculative reports of foul play, with the needle of suspicion pointing to Israel, though there's nothing yet in terms of evidence. Now, the two longtime foe came to near blows last month after Israel assassinated an Iranian general in Damascus. Iran retaliated with a volley of more than 300 missiles and drones aimed at Israel. Against this backdrop, Iran's equations with other countries are likely to remain the same, with Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei calling the shots. The government has already said it will operate without disruption. Now, Raisi took over as president in 2021 and was personally involved in two of the darkest periods of Iranian repression. A year after his election, Raisi ordered that authorities tighten the enforcement of Iran's hijab and chastity law, restricting women's attire and behavior. Iran then saw a wave of protests triggered by the death in custody of an Iranian Kurdish woman, Mahsa Amini, in September 2022, after her arrest for allegedly flouting dress rules for women. Now, back in 1988, Iran's exiled opposition and human rights groups, Raisi's name evoked mass executions of Marxists and other leftists when he was the deputy prosecutor of the Revolutionary Court in Tehran. Inquisitions known as death committees were set up across Iran, comprising religious judges, prosecutors, and intelligence military officials. The 1988 mass execution earned him the dubious nickname of the Butcher of Tehran. Now, as curtains come down on the Raisi era, the focus will be on the impending presidential elections. Under the Iranian constitution, the death of a sitting president triggers specific protocols. First Vice President Mokhber is now approved as the interim president for the 50 days in the run-up to the fresh elections. And Iran's top nuclear negotiator Ali Bagheri Kani is now appointed as the acting foreign minister. All eyes on how difficult it will be for Iran to weather this big change. And for more on this, we earlier spoke to Dr. Tauhid Asadi, who is an adjunct professor at the University of Tehran. And we began by asking him what next, what happens in terms of succession and who takes over.
Based on the Iranian constitution, the procedure that is going to be taken is quite clear. The constitution has set a transparent process for such a situation in which the vice president becomes the interim president and takes the responsibilities of the office for less than 2 months, 50 days, literally, and then he is supposed to run the country. And at the same time, there is a council consisting of the vice president as well as the head of judiciary and parliament, who are responsible for formulation of a new election. At the end of the day, a new president is going to be elected for 4 years. Well, the truth is that President Raisi was very close to the establishment, the political establishment, the religious establishment, and he had a huge amount of influence in the political system of Iran. But concerning the question that you asked, I think the country at the time being is pretty much shocked by the event that took place last night. And of course, it's a little bit early to talk about any sort of power competition or etc. Now, what we see here in Tehran is that in a very wide spectrum from right to left, everybody is shocked and saddened and touched by this event. But this time, this is unprecedented because at the same time, the country has lost another key figure who is the foreign minister. And let's just not ignore the influential role of the foreign minister. He was the person who had very exceptional relations with the Arab world, with the neighboring countries, and he was one of the pioneers of this new paradigm of foreign policy in Iran on the basis of focusing more on regional countries, on neighboring countries, and Arab world. So I'm strongly convinced that this is the mindset to which we have Iran. Yeah, just one sentence if I may. This is just a consensus. Therefore, my anticipation is that we're not going to see a paradigm shift in grand strategies of Iran, but still, these are big losses which could not be recovered this soon.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.